Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel if you've been here before, or hello and welcome to my channel if you have not. I haven't posted a video in about a year and a half. We all know that last year was absolutely crazy, but it had an extra level of craziness for me. I had a baby and I moved. There was a lot going on, so I unfortunately was not able to get my life together enough to make a video, and I am hoping to change that, especially now that I have a new iPad and I can draw on my iPad and post videos that way instead of just doing my watercolor. I am so blessed, and my downstairs is going to be my studio space, or at least part of it is going to be my studio space, but I have not had the time to get that set up yet, but hopefully in the next week or so I am going to have a little more free time. My husband's gonna be on vacation time, and so he can watch the baby while I figure out how I want my things set up in the basement, and I finish a couple projects down here, and I'm really excited. I'll do a little tour whenever that's all finished up. But for now, I am doing everything on my iPad, and it's going well. I just got it. I got it for Christmas, and I really enjoyed drawing on it. I am back to drawing comics. It's been a long time since I've drawn any comics, and I'm just so ready to get back into it. This comic that you see me doing the flats for is actually a retelling of another comic I did. Did I post it online? I might have posted it online somewhere. I don't think I did though. But it was a project I did in college for my intro to comics class at MCAD, and it was 12 pages long originally, and we had actually 2 weeks to do the project, but I was stressing over like, oh, what am I gonna draw? What am I gonna do? Because we had to make the story and then do a minimum 6-page comic, and I had to have a beginning, middle, and end, and I stressed so much and wasted so much time, and I ended up doing a 12-page comic, and I did it all in 4 days. I wrote it, drew it, and finished it. It was stressful, but all that aside, I think the story idea is really interesting, and I mean, it's not the most original thing ever, but I like the concept and I want to expand upon it, and doing it in 4 days, the art was not great. It was not even good. It was not. I mean, the comic itself, people really enjoyed it and told me that it looked good, but it was not up to any sort of standard art-wise that I would be proud of, but that's why I'm redoing it, because I think it's cool, and I hope you guys eventually, whenever I start posting it online, will think it's cool too. It obviously, you can tell from this guy, has cowboy and witches. Cowboys and witches, you know, my favorite things. So I will eventually be posting it online, probably on Webtoon. It'll only be about 60 to 64 pages long. Right now I'm looking at 60 pages, but so it'll be a pretty short story, all said and done, which is fine. It'll be about like maybe 5 Webtoon episodes, but you can see I have it right now as a print style comic with pages, which is kind of how I prefer to work, and then I'll adapt it to that endless scroll style that Webtoon has going, because the reading on your phone really is much better with that style. But I think it's easier to go from page style like print style pages to that endless scroll than to go the other way. So I'm doing it this way because I do eventually want to get this printed, and I'll have them for sale whenever I go to conventions, if that is ever a thing that happens again. So I'm pretty excited. I'm hoping to have the whole story done by Christmas this year. I have about 15 pages, not complete, but I have 15 pages drawn and line art for them, and I'm working on colors, but coloring is it's my least favorite part. It's the part I'm the worst at. I'm not great at coloring. I understand color theory for the most part, but I'm not an incredible colorist by any sense. I really hate doing flats, and I've kind of developed a way of doing flats that make them a little faster for me, and I'll probably post a tutorial on how I do them because, one, I have a lot of pages that I'm going to be flatting, and really I have 15 right now that need flatted. I think I have a little less than that because I have a couple pages that are colored, but anyway, I'll show you guys my flatting process. I do flats all on one layer. I used to do flats each individual color on a different layer, and it was bad. It was horrible. It was a nightmare to keep track of. I'm already can't keep track of my layers, so the fewer layers I can do, the better for me, because then I know what's going on in each layer. And I don't know, it's easier for me. Basically what I do is I kind of section off each panel as a different color. Sometimes I do them as all the same color. It doesn't really matter as long as they're sectioned off that you can easily select that whole panel. And then I will use the lasso fill and fill in the major components, so like the foreground, midground, background, usually the character I have by themselves. And then I'll say I have the character, I want to do the character first. I'll then select the character's color. That way I can't draw outside those borders. And then I will hide the selection lines. You can do that. It's in view selection lines, I think, and then there's on my iPad there's a little button. It's like a box with a smaller dashed line box. You click that, then it hides the lines. Or I have mine set up as a hotkey. It doesn't have a hotkey automatically. You'll have to set one up, but I set mine up to be Alt H because Command H was already taken. So that way I don't have to look at that little dashed line because it drives me insane. I hate it. I hate looking at it, and I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to see too, which is crazy that it bugs me so much. But yeah. But anyway, so I hide the selection line because no one wants to look at that while they're doing flats. Flats are already bad enough. And then after you do that, then you can draw within that selection and it won't go outside. So then say I use the lasso fill to fill his hat. Then I take the magic wand and make sure I have it on intersect. So then I click the color that the body is and it will remove the hat from the selection but nothing else, so that I can kind of just keep going along. And I want to make sure that those flat colors butt up against each other perfectly. That way there's no weird issues with scaling. Sometimes there can be issues with that if the colors aren't completely lined up next to each other. You get weird gapping issues. It's not cute. And I work at a pretty big resolution, so I shouldn't really have that issue, but still, it's much better that way. If you want to select just the skin and add blush or freckles or whatever, then you aren't having to worry about things not showing up where they're not supposed to or whatever. So I'll probably do a little tutorial going more in depth as to how I do that. That way I can give you a visual. I don't know if I explained it very well, but sorry. maybe I will do that next week. Show you guys that little tip next week, because I have a bunch of footage from my pages and I have a lot of pages to flat. So I think I'll show you guys that in a little bit more depth. And yeah, this is kind of a long video. There's a lot here. I haven't made a video in so long that I'm kind of not used to talking to a microphone. So if I sound kind of crazy and rambly, that's why. I also didn't write a script or anything. I have nothing in particular I want to talk about. I think I went over it all. Comic flats, painting. Yeah, I think I went over everything. Well, oh man, yeah, this is really the only time I have to record. I tried recording a voiceover earlier twice, maybe even 3 times, I don't know, but my crazy dog and my son were right next to me, and it was way too noisy. There was no hope for it being rescued or cutting out the noisy bits. So my husband is now home and taking care of my son while I go do this, and thank you, yay. And the dog is, who knows, she could find me and be crazy. You might have heard her earlier jingling or crinkling something. She was down here briefly, but yeah, expect more comic stuff from me. I'm really excited to get back into this. It's been so long since I've posted any comics online, and really it's been a long time since I've drawn comics, and I mean that's what I went to school for. I majored in comic art at MCAD and met so many amazing people. I have friends that I went to MCAD with that are now professional comic artists, and that is the dream. That is absolutely the dream. I would love to be able to make money drawing comics and making art, and it would be even better if it was my own comic, and I mean that's quite a dream. Make money making my own web comic. Yeah, that would be the life. And I mean, I'm not expecting to really make any money right away or really at all, especially with this. I decided to do this shorter comic to kind of get back into the routine of things, and there's so many things that I have forgotten about, mostly with drawing this program. I have been using Clip Studio for a very long time. The first time I got Clip Studio, it was actually called Manga Studio, and I got it in 7th grade, and I'm nearly 30 years old, so that was a long time ago. Yeah, because I'm old. I'm old now. Old and a mom. So I have been using this program for a long time, but I haven't used it for quite a while. I haven't really done digital art for a long time. So there was just getting some rust off, relearning the program. But I think for the most part, I remember pretty much what I know. I'm sure there's some stuff that it'll come up, but there's just like design things that I've kind of been playing with, like how big do I want the stroke on balloons, or the size of the panel borders, that kind of thing, where I can kind of just change it up. And since it's a short comic, if, you know, I decide at the end, like, oh no, I actually really like it this way, then I can change it a little easier than, you know, a really long ongoing comic, which I do have an idea. I have a story for a longer comic, but I did not want to start with my long epic comic. I wanted to start with the shorter one, and I actually might do a second shorter one about this length once this one's done as well, before I really commit to a big project. And I'm giving myself quite a lot of time to do this, especially since, like, yeah, I am a stay-at-home mom for the most part. I do work part-time, but very part-time, and it's just really hard to draw with a 1-year-old sitting on you. And so I want to make sure I give myself enough time, but I also give myself a good deadline, otherwise I'll just take forever and I'll never finish it. So I just need to have that balance, and so far I feel like I'm doing pretty well. I just need to keep this ambition going. That way I can reach the finish line, finish this comic, and hopefully make some more comics. Now, I don't know how many of you are going to be watching this. I do have almost 1,000 subscribers, but I haven't posted in so long. I'm sure some of you won't be watching this video, and that's totally fine. I do the same thing, where sometimes I'm subscribed to someone, I haven't watched their videos in so long, but if you are watching this, and especially if you are someone that makes webcomics or webtoons or posts comics online at all, let me know your answer to this question. Like I said, this will be about 60-ish pages long. I have 15 that will be completed soon. That's about 60. Yeah, I believe it's about 60 panels. Do you think I should post those online, or do you think I should wait until I'm finished totally with the comic to post online? I'm not going to post them all together. Maybe if I post now, I could break up those 60 panels into like 3 different episodes, and it'll just be longer. It'll be shorter episodes, but it'll have more episodes, if that makes sense. And otherwise, like, all 15 pages, 60 panels are all kind of like the beginning of the story. By the end of those 15 pages, it kind of gets into the middle, like the I forget what it's called in the hero's journey. It's like where they're going on the adventure, basically. It's you know kind of what's going to happen. The character has decided to go on the journey, if that makes sense. That's kind of where that is, right at the end of page 15. So I don't know. I would like some input. Tell me what you guys think. If you guys think that's a good idea, if I should just wait. I know a lot of people say, no, just post it, but I do want to make sure that I don't want to feel rushed, but I also don't want to not post it. Sometimes posting it and like having people read it and be excited for it is more motivation to get it done. But I really haven't been lacking motivation. I don't know. There's a lot to think about, and there's pros and there's cons to both. I'm just curious what you guys think. Would you be interested in reading this sooner, or if you guys feel like you could wait? I don't know. I do also have a Patreon. I had a Patreon a long time ago when Patreon first like first launched, and then I took it down for a while, and then I put it back up, and I took it down for a while, and now I have it back up. Not that I expect anyone to be pledging to my Patreon right now, especially because I have basically nothing online, and but I'm hoping that will change, and hopefully people will want to see my comic, get early access, see some comic tutorials, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I've just been preparing for the future, and I've been posting a lot more on my Instagram. I've been trying to post like every other day. I kind of failed last week. I only posted like twice, maybe. I'm sorry if you can hear my son screaming. I apologize. But yeah, I've been trying to be more active on social media, and I really, really love making videos and showing you guys my art on YouTube, so that's going to be a main focus as well, and hopefully I can impart some knowledge I have, at least some tips and tricks how I do things. I'm sure there are better ways to do things that I do, but yeah, I can kind of show you guys my workflow and insights into my process, my thoughts and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say, so please, if you liked this video or are interested in making comics, or you like reading comics, or you want to make a comic eventually, or you do make a webcomic or a webtoon or any of that kind of stuff, say hello. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. You can learn more about my comic making journey, see where it takes me. We'll go on this journey together, and I think that's cool to see where people start out. And right now I am pretty much at ground zero, because yeah, I have the artwork, well, some of the artwork, but nothing online. So I will be growing a reader base from basically nothing, and sometimes it's kind of interesting to see that process. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but yeah, I'm pretty excited, and I would love for you guys to be on the journey with me. So make sure you hit subscribe, hit the like button, follow me on Instagram or whatever. I've got Fiverr and Ko-fi and all those things that artists have nowadays. But make sure you check out my pretty art over on Instagram and chat me up, send me a message or a comment, and I'm really excited to meet other comic artists. It's been a long time since I've talked to other comic artists about making comics, and that's all I got. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.